Friends, we are very happy to inform you that e-modules are prepared for B.Ed program at Telangana by the School of Education, Osmania University under Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Scheme MHRD New Delhi. It's indeed our pleasure to share with the teacher educators and the prospective teachers and get maximum benefit out of it. It's a first of its attempt by us. We continue to add many more such lessons to share with you all.
Hello learners, myself Nurul Huda, Assistant Professor from Ghulam Ahmad College of Education. Today I am going to speak about modernization and education. Modernization is the characteristics feature of modern society. Modernity and postmodernity, let us see what is that. When we speak about modernity, it represents the substantial break with traditional, with 5 distinct characteristics of modernity we are going to talk about. The first characteristic is intellectual characteristic. What is this intellectual characteristics? It is nothing but emphasis on reason, belief in progress, control over nature and environment. The second distinctive characteristics of modernity is political characteristics, which is nothing but dominance of secular theory and the marginalization of religious influences from state or political matters. When it comes to the third characteristics of modernity, it speaks about economic characteristic, which is nothing but the money system that is provided as a medium of exchange. The fourth characteristic of modernity is religious characteristics. It is nothing but the decline of religion and the rise of secular materialistic culture. When we speak about the last characteristic of modernity, it is speaking about the social characteristics. It is nothing but the decline of traditional social order and the development of new division of labor, emergence of a new class. Let us speak about the characteristics of modernity which was given by Anthony Giddens. He said that he has categorized modernity into 3 characteristics. First one, he said that it is industrialization, which is nothing but company making. The second one he has spoken about was capitalism, which is speaking about production of commodities, using wage labor of competitive market. And the third aspect or the third characteristic that he has spoken was surveillance, that is nothing but the capacity of state and other organizations to control individual and group. When we speak about modernity, we have spoken in deep about it. Let us speak about postmodernity or late modernity. It is nothing but the modern society which has become more critically aware of the consequences of modernity, particularly in the context of the negative ones. But according to the Anthony Giddens, he preferred to call it as post-modernity, which is it has its own flexibility, which is nothing but which is provided through greater critical awareness or reflective modernization. As in this new stage, we can say that it is most stressing upon the unintended, destructive or damaging consequences of modernity. The best example I can give you is the example of industrialization on environment, which is creating not only pollution but also proliferation of nuclear weapons, of mass destruction, are the best example wherein we can say it is unintended high risk consequences of modernity. Let us see the difference between modernity and postmodernity. When we are going to talk about the modernity, it is going to speak about the concern with belief in science and reason. But when it comes to postmodernity, it is basically concerning about highly damaging effect of applied science on environment, human and nature. When we speak about the second aspect of the modernity and postmodernity, I am going to speak about the context. In the context of modernity, it is believe in the social progress. But when it comes to postmodernity, it is basically focusing on growing awareness of the risk and destructive consequences of the pursuit of progressive. That is the best example I can give you about car pollutions and as well as the accidents. But when we speak about modernity, the third aspect, we can say that it is nothing but perceiving nation and state as the boundary of the society. But when it comes to the postmodernity, it is reflecting as if it is the reference to the process of globalization. In the fourth aspect I would speak about is in modernity there is more emphasis on economical development. But here when it comes to postmodernity, there is increasing importance of cultural development. And the last most point I would like to speak about modernity is there is a tendency to see the world in terms. But when it comes to postmodernity, it sees the tendency is to see the similarities and unities among in the world, in the term of world. Let us see what are the prerequisites of modernization. According to, there are certain prerequisites of social change and modernization which must be represented in the society. So first thing I would speak about it is an awareness of purpose and an eye of the future need to be evolved. And the next thing that I want to speak about is an awareness of existence beyond one's own world but of many other societies has to be kept in mind. And a sense of urgency need to be given importance. There should be availability of variety of opportunities and rules. And emotional preparedness and self-imposed tasks and sacrifices has a place in the modernization. The last most prerequisite I would speak about is the emergence of devoted, dynamic and committed leaders is most required at this present scenario. Let us see what is the pattern of modernization. This is the pattern of modernization which is given by Don Martindale. He have mentioned it into two categories. First one is exogenous, which means it is a factor in which arising of outside the social system. Arising outside the social system is given preference. But when it comes to the second aspect he have categorized was endogenous, which means arising within the internal social system. So what these two, when we speak about the pattern of modernization, these two are playing a peculiar role. Let us see what are the influences about it, how it is influencing the modernization. So first thing that I want to speak about is both these factors initiate and shape the social change, and this determines the nature of leadership and it is basic aim. Not only determines the leadership but also it determines the objective of education, and it also gives the structure of machinery of education. The basic thing we can speak here is determination of technical and the means of spread of education system. The last point I would speak here about it is determining of the allocation of finance of education and the nature of personnel are required for executing it. So these are the peculiarities when we speak modernization in the context of education. Let us see the measures of modernization. So what are the measures of modernization? This was given by Rustow and Ward, which they have stated few points which I would like to discuss here about it. First thing I would speak here is industrialization is nothing but economy and the adaptation of science and technology in the industrial makeup of the world, and there is high amount of productivity, and this modernization has brought about a secular idea, making it more geographical, and social mobility is increased, and there is spread of scientific and technical education. This helps in transition from ascribed and achieved, they can achieve a greater status in the society as well. So this is one of the thing which we can say that there is increase in material of standard of living, or materialization of standard of living is more commonly observed. And apart from that, we can also see that there is high ratio of innate to animate energy using the economy. Here we can also observe that there is high proportion of working force employed in secondary and tertiary sectors rather than only primary production is given importance. But today there is the best example I can give you here is the manufacturing and the services industries which are coming and they are making them place. There is a high degree of urbanization because of the modernization that we are observing. There is a high level of literacy that has taken place. There is high national product of per capita income is developed. There is free circulation of mass media, and we can also see that there is high expectancy of life at birth. So the most important aspect that I'm going to speak about is the pattern of modernization in educational context. When we observe the pattern of education of modernization in the educational context, we can observe that the capitalist countries, the bigger countries or the world largest countries or world economic countries, the high developed countries, they are the one who is having the greater amount of financial investment in the education. They are not only providing the facility for financial support at individual level, but also to the private societies, and they are helping them to do the endowment, and the governmental support is also being provided by the capitalist countries. The companies, the government, we can say, is one of the competing financiers. Here we can see they have started or they have stated certain acts which is acting like a supreme frame of law which regulate the educational market. We can also observe that there is a reserve certain aspect of education which is essential for the community. They are also taking measures to safeguard the education interest of handicapped and backward group people. When it comes to the non-capitalist countries, education was considered vital and a need and a fundamental right, and therefore they are providing free communal services by the society. Besides the aim and the approaches and attitude, the method of providing finance for education, also they have different capitalist and non-capitalist countries which are supporting each other. Let us see education and modernization. This was being given by A.R. Desai. He have mentioned modernization in the context or in relation to cultural sphere. So here I would like to speak about his 4 point of views, or the education system, the features that he has spoken about education system in the context of modernization. The first feature he has spoken about it is emergence of new cultural outlook characterized by emphasis on progress and improvement, on happy and spontaneous expression of ability and feelings. This is nothing but development of individuality as a value and efficiency. When I speak about the second feature of the modernization and education, according to Desai, he says that growing differentiation of the major elements of cultural systems, it is nothing but advancement of specialized role. And the third feature here they have spoken here is emergence of new personality orientation. They are traits and characteristics revealed in greater ability to adjust to the broadening societal horizons. So these are the three features. Let me finalize with the last feature he spoke about modernization and education is the ability of the society to develop an institutional structure for the capable of people who are able to adjust to the continuity of the change and the problems and the demands that are coming. So these are the certain features spoken by I.R. Desai in context of education and modernization. Let us see what is the means of modernization. From what are the means we are going to have the societal modernization or educational modernization that is going to take a lead in the society. So first I would speak about industrialization, which is a very fast growing sector, and urbanization, as we can see the development of rural areas into urbanized villages, and the concept of secularism is growing faster and making the existence of society at a very ease. And there is rise of new social classes, wherein we can see there is movement of elites, and we can see that there is, if the exchange of money is equally distributed, sometimes there is impartiality in the execution or distribution of money as well, but still there is westernization that is existing in the society, making giving a space for modernization in the form of a bigger lead. The last thing that I want to speak about is democratization, which is playing a greater role in making the modernization as a part of our society and as a part of educational system, which is a need of the moment. Let us speak about certain aspects of modernization. There are two aspects which I am going to speak here. Is one was given by Karl Dutch and another one was given by Einstein Stedet. And the first one, the first aspect I'm going to speak about is socio-demographic or social mobilization. What is this social mobilization or social demographic? It is nothing but exposure to modern life through machinery, response to mass media, urbanization, change from agricultural occupation, which is very commonly seen, literacy increment, we can see the high rate of literacy people, and there is growth of per capita income. When let us speak about the second aspect of modernization, it is speaking about social organization or modernization. What does it contain about it? Basically here they are speaking about specialized role or free floating, that is admission to them is not determined by ascribed properties of individual. And the second aspect they are speaking here is wealth and power are not indescriptively allocated as in traditional societies. It is associated with the institutions like markets, economic life, and voting and party activities in politics. So these are the two major aspects of modernization, wherein they are speaking how the social organization is changing its mobility and how it is modernization, it's taking its space in the society. In this context, I would like to speak about certain characteristics of modern society. How a modern society, what kind of a characteristics it is existing with. So this was given by Murray. He has categorized the society into three categories, three spheres I can speak here. First one is economic sphere, second is political sphere, and third one is cultural sphere. So let us speak about it in detail about what is economic sphere. What is it contains the development of very high level of technology, and there is growing of specialization of economic roles. The growth of the scope and the complexity of the major markets is very much observed. When we speak about the second aspect or the second characteristics of modern society is political sphere. In this political sphere we can see there is power outside of their own society, holders of potential political powers, extension of the territorial scope of power of central, legal, administrative and political agency of society. There is a continual spread of potential power to a wider group in the society. We can see that there is total disappearance or weakening of ascriptive political commitment to any given ruler or a group. So these are the two spheres I have spoken. I am going to speak about the last sphere said by Murray. He said that it is the cultural aspect that we can see as a characteristics of modern society. What does this cultural aspect is speaking about? It is speaking about there is difference in major element of culture and value system. There is spread of literacy and secular education. A more complex institutional system is developing for the advancement of specialized role based on intellectual discipline. There is expansion of media of communication. There is stress on dignity of individual and efficiency. Let us speak about the characteristics of modernization in detail. So it was given by Einstein Stedet. He said that a high level of structural differentiation is being commonly observed. There is high level of mobilization which is taking place in the society of modernization, and he had the last characteristic he spoke was a relatively centralized and autonomous institutional framework is present in this present scenario. The other certain objective that I want to speak about in the context of higher education, what kind of aims of higher education they are going to they are going to have the instrument of modernization. So first thing we can speak about is to prepare skilled manpower for developing economy. They have to prepare the manpower which is not in working. They have to inculcate certain professional aspect so that they can withstand the societal changes or modernizational changes. And the second aim or the objective, we can say that to re-socialize people in the value conducive manner to socio-economic development, because the value system has to be enhanced or re-socialization of the people has to take place, because developing of socio-economic society is at a very fast rate. And the third objective here they are speaking is to inculcate in a man a creative self-awareness, an ability to think for himself, and a sense of critical judgment is very important to be what they are and how they are going to live and what they are going to do. So let us see the most important instrument of modernization. I can speak here, it is if education is provided, it is going to lay a foundation, and it is going to lay a foundation of institutions and organizations which could in time and with time they can assume the responsibility of being independent, of being innovative, and they can also have a technological growth. In this instrument of modernization, when it comes to education, the second point I would like to emphasize upon is growth of infrastructure is essential to the adaptation of technology. As in the foreign origin, we can observe that there is specific national needs that has to be fulfilled in the context of infrastructural development. The last point I want to speak about here in the instrument of modernization in the context of education is direct change in the system of attitude is required. There should be a change in the belief system, and the value system has to be enhanced so that we can upfront the institutional complexities. In the next aspect I would like to speak about is the process of modernization. What kind of a process we can adopt so that we can come up or we can withstand the modernizational changes of society at education level or in the societal level on the whole. So this was given by Herbert Blumer, the process of modernization. He said that he has given 5 process in response to modernization. First one, he said that there is a rejective response. What is this rejective response? It is nothing but a traditional society. Many rejected modernization, which has occurred at different point of time and in a different ways. So in this response, he have also spoken the second response, that is in the context of modernization. He said that it is disjunctive response, which means the responses of conjunction between the old and the new, or the coexistence of the traditionalism and modernity occurs when the modernization process operates and detached development without affecting much of the traditional life. And the third response he have observed and stated that it is assimilative response. When we speak about the assimilative response, it is nothing but the absorption of modernization process by the traditional order without disruption of its own organization and pattern of life. So in this responses, the fourth response, which was stated by Blumer, he stated that it is supportive response. What is the supportive response? It is nothing but the form of accepting new and modern things because they are the strength or they are the reinforces so that they can have the traditional order. And the last one, in the process of modernization said by Bloomer, he stated that it is disruptive response. What is this disruptive response? It is nothing but the traditional order is undetermined at many points by the adjustment which are made to the situation introduced by the modernization. So these are the certain processes we are observing in the context of modernization in the field of education. In this modernization, in the context of education, I would like to throw light upon the characteristics of modernization. I am going to state few of the characteristics. They are social mobilization, which is quite common in the field of education. Social differentiation is the second thing that we are observing. The third one is structural differentiation and change. There is a lot of changes in the context of structural, and there is a lot of changes that has to be adopted. And there is a change in the organization and the status system, which is quite commonly observed. And we have also seen there is a lot of changes in the society, and there is a shift towards the urbanization. And we can also observe that there is social and political movement taking place in the modernizational context. We can also see that it is this modernization is having comprehensive and multi-sided education. This not only having this comprehensive and multi-sided education, but also we can say that there is development of international cooperation. Speak about modernization, there are certain problems that we are encountering. Few of the problems I am going to illustrate at present. When the first one I would like to speak about is, most often we see there is a role adopted by people who are modern, but values are continued to be traditional. So this is something commonly seen. There is adaptation, but there is no detachment observed. And in the second problem, or in the second context of the problem that is seen in the process of modernization, we observe that modernization is that modern society which is changing in all ways at once, but in such a regular and coordinated pattern of growth which cannot be conceivable or planned by. So there is a rapid change that is taking place because of this modernization. So this is one of the problem that we can observe. And the third problem that I want to speak here is modernization of social and economic institution creates conflict with the traditional way of life. There is an example I would illustrate here is the fashion industry, or we can illustrate the changing of education. The traditional system of education or the institution is changing more towards the technological aspect, which is very remarkably observed at present. The third problem that I would state here is the social problem, is that structural change is uneven during the period of modernization. This is one of the prominent thing that we observe. The richer is becoming richer and the poor is becoming more poorer. And the fourth problem that we can state here is there is lack of cooperation among agency, wherein the modernization and among the institutions and among the system, which is making the main lead to develop the cultural lag as well as institutional conflicts. The last problem that I want to state here is modernization raising the aspirant ions of people, but social system is failing to provide them to achieve their aspiration. This creates frustration, deprivation and social unrest. This is what we can see that there is high amount of unemployment among the literate people. So we are having the modernization, but there are certain problems that we are facing. But in context of the problems of change and modernization, when we speak about, we can say that there are new groups and new trends which are emerging. And we can also observe that there is progress in various fields, which is giving rise to many problems as well. And not only in that context, we can also see that there is increase in unemployability problem, which I just stated, and there is basis of marriage has ceased to be religious. It is now a social and psychological bond, more oftenly observed. And a consequence of modernization, there is individual and family disintegration that is commonly cited. And the last point, when I speak about the problems of change and modernization, here we can say that social change promotes social disintegration. This has to have a new phase. This has to be kept in mind when there is modernization taking place. Now let us speak about the few important relationships of modernization and education. In this manner, I am going to conclude, and I am going to speak about the implications that we can observe of modernization in education. So let us speak about, I'll start with the first point, saying that the level of higher education is of no consequence as an explanatory variable of student modernity. The statement itself is self-explanatory, because the level of higher education are having not much of consequences wherein if they want to have the student modernity. There are certain, if there is the courses are fading away as well. The change is so rapid that what you have learned a decade before is now faded off. So this is very commonly observed. There is lowest percentage of modern in humanities, which is followed by social sciences and professionalism, with the highest percentage in the science faculty. So what we have observed, the second problem is the science faculty is increasing, the technological faculty is increasing, but there is a decline of social sciences faculties. And we can also observe that more male dominated societies than female domination. There is a next implication or the conclusion of relationship in the context of modernization and education is there is high status students are more modern than low status students, and there is a significant and positive correspondence between level of students modernity and that of their reference teachers provide the later preferred character building roles over other roles, favored no social distancing in the relations with students, and reported greater interpersonal interaction with the students. These are certain things, these are certain conclusions I want to conclude when it comes to modernization and education. Few more here, I want to speak about few points more here. Here we can observe that there is a weak but still there is a positive relationship between year of hostel exposure and modernity courses, and the age is found to be inversely related to student modernity. Boys outscored girls in modernity. Caste has no bearing on modernity, that is the best thing, and a significantly large percentage of modernity cases hails from medium sized families with 4 to 6 number of family composition. The family type has no association with modernity, so it is an individual approach. We can state that, and the socio-economic status of the family has a significant though weak positive relationship with modernity. Last but not the least, I would speak here is father's education and occupation are only weakly related to student modernity. So with this we can understand that the concept of modernity and education is going hand in hand, and today we can see a lot of change, a development, and there is a rapid change that can be adopted and that can be absorbed, and the change should be better, it should be for good. So thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you.